Unfortunately, most of the reason for the increase in drug abuse is still untouched.
Ignorance. Many people do not realize the harmful health and social effects of taking drugs in an abusive manner. Many of these drugs affect the lungs, they affect the heart, they affect the kidneys. Many of these drugs, particularly when you have overdose, can cause sudden death. And that is aside from the social problems. Some people are not able to keep a job. Some people would sell everything they have just to keep up with the habits. Now, because these drugs have a potential for addiction, it's better not to start them at all. But why then do people start? Most people start taking drugs when they are young. You have a few people who start when they are older. Most people start out with peer pressure. Oh, my friend is doing it, so you can't, you are not cool if you don't do that. Most people start out of curiosity, let me just try. But many times, the reasons why people start using drugs are not the same reasons why they continue using drugs. So people need to understand, parents need to understand, children very early on in school, they need to be made to realize that there are some things that are better not tried. It's not cool to be a drug addict. They should show children the reality of what it is to be a drug addict. Films glamorize drugs and it makes it seem as if, oh, when you take drugs, you're cool. Cocaine is shown to be something in high-profile parties. They don't show the reality of a life destroyed by cocaine, or a life destroyed by heroin, or a life destroyed by methamphetamine. So, ignorance is something we need to deal with on every level. It's not something that should be left to children alone. Many of these children are not aware. Parents need to talk to their children. Religious organizations. The government, we all have a role to play. Now, some people are already addicted to drugs. There's help for them. We shouldn't castigate them and say, oh, you're addicted to drugs, that's your problem, why did you start? No. Because this is a problem that has now become beyond their control. So for those who do have problems, there are places where they can seek help. They shouldn't feel as if it's the end of the world. And if you go to any teaching hospital in this country and ask for how you can get a referral or if there's any doctor that can treat problems of drug abuse, you will be advised accordingly.
My God, that is who you are. You wipe away all tears. You heal the broken hearted. You are the answer to it all, Jesus. You wipe away all tears. You heal the broken hearted. You are the answer to it all, Jesus.
Running a rehabilitation center, Mr. Hamilton says he has to visit communities and interact with users and non-users. He fears that not enough is being done to discourage new users.
As a drug rehabilitator, I go to drug communities where I go to talk with drug addicts. If you ask me if anything is being done, I will tell you, frankly speaking, I don't think, even if something is being done, it's not enough. It's not enough, because some of the communities I've been, what I noticed is that there are policemen there, but they don't seem to be arresting any seller or any buyer. But they are just there to maintain peace in case a gang war break out between the different gangs in the community. So this is what it is, frankly speaking.
Be lifted high above all, for you are King. With everything we will shout for your praise.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is saddled with the responsibility to rid the country of drugs.
You see, in the time past, we have been arresting people, prosecuting people, convicting people, but the problem is still there. Then we now have a rethink. It's better we sensitize. Instead of saying, okay, we suppress supply, we are now also suppressing demand. And how do you suppress demand? Is by telling people, sensitizing them, educate them about this drug, about the dangers, and then what consequences await them if they traffic in this drug. I think initially it was about 70-30 for supply suppression and then demand reduction, but now we want to make it 50-50. We suppress the supply and then we suppress the demand by sensitizing people, telling them about the dangers, that they should not carry drugs. If you look at the airport, you see our posters everywhere. In fact, some airlines want to even carry our logos, telling people about drug abuse and then drug trafficking. I think it's a good thing too. We have collaboration now with almost all the stakeholders now. If you see the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Navy, the custom, bringing very big amount of seizures they make, which means our collaboration is working. You see in Lagos, we don't cultivate drugs in Lagos. The drugs we all know in Lagos maybe is marijuana. This marijuana, we don't cultivate it in Lagos. Whatever amount of marijuana you see in Lagos is being merchandised by other people who want to come to Lagos and make money. Now, if I have the custom, especially the Federal Operation Unit on the road, assisting me, then you have the Federal Road Safety assisting, collaborating with the NDLA. Then you have the Army, the police collaborating with NDLA. And then you have the Navy collaborating with the Marine Unit of the NDLA to arrest those people that are part of the waterways. I think we are winning the war. I think it's a very good thing.
And the NDLEA is not just about arresting.
You see, it's not everybody we arrested that we prosecute. We look at the quantity and then we look at your own offense. If you are a user, to us, you are a sick person. Somebody that abuses drugs is a sick person that requires help. So for us to assist you, we have a unit here. We call the counseling unit. I have some clients here, I think about 8 of them now, that are with me. It is their parents that brought them here. And we counsel you for about 6-9 months. If you are okay, we return you back to your parent. So we have that counseling unit. We keep you here, we educate you, we counsel you. If need be, they flush out drug from you, then we call the health unit. Federal Minister of Health to come and flush you, to flush the drug out, or the psychiatrist to flush the drug out, then we continue with the education. We do it in 2 ways. If it is possible for us to keep you here, we have a place we can keep you. We accommodate you here, we admit you here. But if it is not possible, then we treat you as outpatient. You come daily, collect your lessons, and then go. But if we allow you to go, we may also go back to abusing drugs, then we keep you here.
But all hands must be on deck in solving this problem.
The primary agent of socialization is the home. We learn a lot of things from the home. However, we also know that people can leave the home and can be subject to influences. But studies have also shown that some people start abusing drugs because of even academic pressure or inability to cope with what some other people would say are the normal stresses of life. So what can we do as a parent? Notice your children. Sometimes, just by a parent noticing a behavioral change in that child, the parent would begin to suspect that there's something different in this child. And how can I help the child? Because many times, the child could confess, but more often than not, the child will try as much as possible to hide the fact that he or she is using drugs from the parents. Know your children's friends. Talk to your parents. Talk to your children. Let them know that they can always confide in you. And as much as we can, when we see a child that has a problem, castigating the child, well, I know it's in our culture, we will do that. But when we are done saying, oh, you've done the wrong thing, how can we help that child? Help is available. And parents should know that they can help their children.
The battle against drug is on, and it's a global battle. So, as the experts have said, parents, governments, individuals, friends can help and contribute to winning the battle against drug in Nigeria and the world. Well, that's our story on this episode. I'm Ini John Mekwa.